Welcome to Jshen IPO. This is my first time doing an IPO in a language other than Chinese. I hope it makes things more inclusive and accessible to more audience. Thank you for your support. Now let's proceed to the main topic, which is the Cheeding Holdings Berhad IPO. This IPO is fully managed by TS Security, or we can say TS Security is the principal advisor. Upon listing Cheeding Holdings Berhad, we will have the stock code of Cheeding 0372. When we look into the front page of this IPO, we will notice the telco tower, substations, cablings, and some of the geotechnical works. So we can make a short conclusion. This IPO is dealing with discount utilities, or we can say EPCC works. Other than YouTube, these are my social media. You can find me on Mumu and also Xiaohongshu. This is the IPO timetable. The opening date is 12 September 2025. The closing date is 23 September 2025. So the duration is 1 week plus. The date of listing is 7 October, which is next month, and will be listed on AC market, which is second board. These are the details of IPO. We only focus on 3 information. The first one is the enlarged total number of shares upon listing. It's approximately 797 million. IPO price means per unit is about 36 cents. So based on these 2 information, we can deduce another important information, which is the market capitalization. It's around 287 million ringgit Malaysia, not USD. This is the principal business activity, provisions of utilities engineering solution. When we talk about utilities, we think about YTL Power, Malakoff, or even Renhu. These are the blue chips and well-known stock listed on Bursa Malaysia. Below these principal activities, there are 3 segments. The first one is EPCC and maintenance of overhead infrastructures for utilities. First of all, we need to know what is EPCC. The full name of EPCC is Engineering, Procurement, Construction and Commissioning. Those who are involved in engineering sectors or engineering works, even mechanical, civil or electricals, you will definitely know this word. The second one is EPCCs of underground infrastructures for utilities. When we talk about infrastructure, we think about LRT, MRT, or those civil engineering works. These are all underground infrastructures. The third segment will be substation engineering services. Based on these 3 segments, the most significant segment will be the first segment. Based on the revenue contribution in financial year 2024 and 2025, the first segment, the maintenance of overhead infrastructure, has contributed almost 100% in financial year 2024. These are the explanations given by the group. We look into the first statement. Supply, delivery, install, construct, relocate, test and commission. Meaning that it is a one-stop solutions for constructing, installing and testing of these overhead infrastructures utilities. What is actually overhead infrastructure? It is the cable or the cabling connected between 2 telco tower or 2 electric towers, or some sort we name it as pylon tower. This is more specific, and then the group is providing services to maintain this kind of cabling structures. Now we straight jump into the last paragraph. We schedule, monitor and supervise the on-site operational activities. Of course, this is very specialized. You will require electric engineer, mechanical engineer, even the civil engineer. This is the electric towers or telco towers that is named by me. So to be specific, it is called pylon tower. From the perspective of pylon towers, it has 2 types. The first one is lattice, the another one is monopole. Second principal activity, underground infrastructure. Same goes to the first principal activity, planning, procure, construct, commission of underground infrastructures utilities. And then the main part is trenching, pipe, cable laying, structural works. So these are all underground, involve drillings and all geotechnical constructions. The last segment, provisions of substation services. So for those who are involved in electricals work, you will definitely know these specific terms like surge arrestor, barbers, currents, transformer, so on and so forth. Of course, they are divided into 2 equipments, primary equipment and secondary equipment. These are very professional, these are very specialized. So we outsider, we only highlight the specific term. So for those who are interested, you can refer back to the IPO prospectus. They explain in detail. This is the photos of substations. Of course, within the substations, they have this primary bay, and then it's a defined and specified areas to relocate, to construct, to put all these electrical equipments. This is the group structures upon listing. We have seen 4 parties. The first party is Ng Kian Chai, also the managing director of the group, holding 68.08% after listing. The second party is Tan Sok Koi, the wife of MD, holding 5.84%. So the combinations of these two personas more than 70% after listing. Below Cheedings, there are two subsidiaries. The first one is Pembinaan Bukit Cheeding, the second one is BC Services. This is the utilizations of proceeds. Through these IPOs, companies have 5 purposes. The first one is repayments of bank borrowing, is 2.3 million. The second one is capital expenditure, about 6.22% or 3.2 million. The third one, performance bond for future project, exceeding 2 digits, 16.15 million. Working capital, 24.63 million. This is the largest, about 47.84%. The last one is estimated listing expenses is around 5 million, but then the final value is 5.2 million. This is the explanation given by the group why they need to repay the bank borrowing, because they are conducting financing activity to purchase 2 office units, the first statement. The second statement, motor vehicles. Third and fourth is purchase of machineries. Second purpose, capital expenditure. Since the natures of group business is dealing with this kind of EPCC work, definitely they need cranes and excavators to excavate the soils, to plug in all this cabling, laying works. So they will need this kind of machinery. So the purchase of these 2 machinery is stick to 3.2 million. Third purpose, performance bonds for future project of the group. This is some sort like guarantees between parties. We are required to maintain a security deposit with licensed bank, which may be in the forms of fixed deposit. And then it's typically 5% of the total contract sum. If the total contract sum is 100 millions, the group is required to pay 5 millions, act as the performance bond. These are the ongoing projects. I purposely highlight overhead transmission line because these are the project handled by the group, and then the customer is TMB. So the TMB is the major customer and is the risk of the group. If TMB has a bad relationship or in the futures, so definitely the revenue and the profit after tax will be affected. These are the completed project. I specifically highlighted overhead transmission line, and then the customer is also TMB. TMB must have a good relationship with the group to secure the revenue and also the profit after tax. These are the major customers of the group in financial year 2025. The group financial year is ended 31 March, meaning that this financial year 2025 is ended 31 March 2025. There are only 2 major customers. The first one is TMB, the second one is Jaya Bina. But then TMB itself contributed 98.34%. These are the top 5 suppliers by the group in the same financial year 2025. There are 3 suppliers that contributed double digits in the same financial year. The first one is Power Cable Malaysia. Purchase cables contributed 32.18%. Rohas Uco. Service procure pylons tower 28.31%. The third supplier, Leader Cables, procure cables or purchase cable amounted 12.66%. If you have not joined our membership program, Jshen Street Signal, 1 month only 15 ringgit, you can get a lot of exclusive insight and analysis. At the same time, we are giving out the presentation slide. This is the dividend policy. Upon listing, the board is recommended to distribute at least 25% of their profit after tax attributed to the investor. These are the history of dividend declarations. From financial year 2022 to 2025, the group has distributed dividends except financial year 2023.